And this is a banger. We've got Tormund Giantsbane versus Randall Tarley. I talked about how I thought Randall Tarley was one of the most underrated fighters on this list, but Tormund Giantsbane was like the second in command of the Free Folk during their great army, and he's pretty freakishly strong, so I would definitely have to give it to Tormund. Another fun one, we've got Aemon One Eye or Aemon Targaryen versus Daario Naharis. This is another one of those interesting, what could have been, peak stories. Without saying too much, without giving away spoilers, I will just say I think Daario wins. Now this is an incredible banger. We've got Sir Arthur Dayne versus Robert Baratheon. This would have been the fight of all fights had it ever actually happened during Robert's Rebellion, but it didn't. But I will say, I think based on everything we know, I do think Arthur Dayne would win. I know Ned did beat Arthur Dayne, but not really. He had the help of Howland Reed and whatever the heck actually happened at the Tower of Joy. And while Robert was extremely strong, I do think in just raw one-on-one combat, I think Arthur Dayne would have won. Next, we've got Biter versus Mance Rayder. Biter was another one of those brave companions that was with Rorge that they talk more about in the book. He was scary and freaky and also super messed up. But against Mance, Mance, like I said, leader of the Free Folk, extremely strong. I think Mance takes it for sure. We got another interesting one. We got the Great John Umber versus Bloodraven. Once again, this is not Bloodraven's prime, obviously. His prime was post-Blackfire Rebellion. But Great John Umber was a, very prominent fighter in Robb's Northern Army, one of the strongest fighters in the North. Obviously, he's very big, very strong. And obviously, this is a combat fight, right? But I do think wits do come into play a little bit during a combat fight. And I think Bloodraven's strength with a combination of his wit in battle would be able to beat the Great John. Great John obviously was not known for his wits, just was very strong. So I do think Bloodraven's combination of kind of strategy, wit, and his fighting ability would make him win. The final match of round 2 is actually such a low-key banger. This is Strong Belwas versus Prince Aemon the Dragon Knight. Strong Belwas I don't think is in the show at all. He's essentially a former slave from Meereen who is in the fighting pits, who is extremely strong, who Illyrio sends to guard Daenerys in the book. And he's like extremely strong fighter. He just likes to fight and then just sit and eat and do nothing. And all the scars on his chest are basically every enemy he fights. He lets cut him once so we can see how many enemies he's killed. It's actually such a low-key banger on this list. And then Prince Aemon the Dragon Knight, is one of the most famous knights in all of Westeros. But he did die, I think, before his prime, so I am going to go with a bit of an upset. I'm going to go Strong Belwas. Alright, after round 2, this is what we're looking at. Feel free to pause and recheck any of the matches. The next video, we're going to just go through all of this round 3 here, and then we'll be on to top 8.